What it do, guys? Manjoume here, and today we're going to be checking out the DC deck building game crossover collection number 1, which includes crossover pack 5 Rogues, crossover pack 6 Birds of Prey, and crossover pack 7 New Gods. It also includes this promo card Reverse Flash Supervillain. Let's take off the plastic first. I've been waiting on this stuff for probably about 2 months, maybe at least 1 month after it initially came out, because I pre-ordered this alongside a reprint of another set that we'll be checking out in another video. But because of that, everything had to wait until everything was ready. Looking at the front of the box, you see what would be on the front of each crossover pack box. So they just combine them in that format. Pretty cool. And it has one of those nice little small boxes. I think it might be the same size as the Crisis Collection box. Here is the Crisis Collection box. And yeah, they're the same. They're the same in terms of height, width, and this one's higher up because there's actually cards in there. And they're all sleeved, so they're gonna push up a little more, but they fit fine for now. The side's very simple. DC deck building game crossover collection 1. Same thing, same thing, same thing. On the back, DC deck building game crossover collection 1. Upgrade your DC deck building game experience. This is not a standalone product. Requires any DC deck building base game to play. Crossover Collection 1 brings together 3 classic crossover packs in one amazing package. Each expansion lets you play as new superheroes or supervillains, adds new game cards, and introduces innovative mechanics to any base game in the DC deck building game series. Collects 3 crossover pack expansions: the Rogues, Birds of Prey, and New Gods. Play as the Rogues, Birds of Prey, or New Gods characters. It feels kind of redundant to say that and then that, but it's fine. New game mechanics: teamwork, card rotation, and homeworld. So it looks like we might get one from each set. Foil oversized cards and the Black Racer promo card. So this itself has a promo card. Then since we pre-ordered it, we got this other promo card. Super cool, which is why I pre-ordered it. Here is the rule sheet. Crossover trilogy, new way to play. Oh, it's they're supposed to sit kind of, I think this got bent or something. I think. Everything looks pretty organized in here. So first we have the promo card, which looks to have a divider for at least the New Gods. I don't know if that will exist for all of them. Take a look at that. That looks pretty cool. That's for when you put them away and you it's like a divider card. Really neat. Then the promo card. Take a quick look at that. Black Racer. Apocalypse Protector 3, +4 power when you play him. If you have 9+ power, destroy any number of cards in the lineup, refill the lineup. And he is just a regular villain, so he'll buy him from the lineup, which is pretty cool. And he costs 7 and is worth 2 points. This is going to be a fun one to add to any game, specifically one, I guess, that has Apocalypse. Checking out the promo supervillain, we have Reverse Flash. He costs 12 to fight, but when you play him, you get +3 power and draw a card. Each time you gain 1 or more victory points this turn, draw a card. On his first appearance, attack. Each player discards all cards with VP value of 1 or greater. Draw a card for each card discarded this way. So you get rid of their cards, give them new ones, maybe disrupt your strategy, who knows. Pretty neat. And I will definitely be playing this with like the Flash. I'll definitely be playing this card in any kind of DCEU related game that we play in the future. So next, I guess we should do them in order. So we'll do number 5, that's 6, 7. So Rogues must be this last one. It is Rogues. And then we'll go over the main deck cards first. Even though there's more, I don't think it's going to be as interesting as the character cards, personally. First, we have the Cold Gun. When you buy or gain this, gain a victory point. So it looks like you'll keep track of your victory points separate than just having these points there. Airwalk shoes, loot, mirror gun, bag of tricks, Iris West. Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't know this was in here. Patty Pivot. Is that also Flash related? James Jesse. I don't know who that is. Captain Boomerang Jr. Pied Piper. The Flash. Jesse Quick. Jay Garrick. Hawkman. He's a superhero. Are these bad guys? Oh, I guess these would be like the super villains, but for the bad guys, because this is the rogues. So same way that the Reverse Flash is super villain, superhero, that's the same thing. Only he costs a lot more to fight than him. That's funny. But it's good that we can keep that in mind. Are these in order? So 8, 9, 10, Hawkman 11, Max Mercury 12, Wally West looks crazy at 13, Bart Allen at 14, and who's number 5? The Flash, but returned from the Speed Force, 15. Wow, that is very, well, except Hawkman and maybe Max Mercury, but it's pretty speedster-centric. I mean, it'll set up for some cool games. Iron Heights. Ongoing defense. You may give the attacker 1 victory point. If you do, avoid that attack. Rogue's Safe House. Ongoing each time you teamwork a foe, +1 power. That's pretty cool. Tornado. Engulfing Flames. Mirror Images. Lightning Strike. Phasing. Then the villain, Dr. Alchemy. Tar Pit. Girder. Magenta. The Top. And Abracadabra. That's interesting. Let's take a look at the, what do they call these again? Oversized rogue supervillains, and I guess personality cards, I guess is the best general term for them. DC deck building game, Rogues Crossover Pack 5. When you are ready to play, you should grab a Rogues supervillain, any DC set main deck, shuffle it, then split it in half. Shuffle the 23 new Rogues main deck cards into one of the 2 piles, then put it on top of the other so that you put most of the new cards near the top of the stack, so you're able to play them. If you can avoid doing so, don't read the superheroes ahead of time, but make sure they're in cost order from 8 to 15. New keywords, teamwork. The rogues are not the most powerful villains around. Most of the time, they'll need to team up to beat a superhero. Teamwork means, during your turn, you may play the top card of any foe's deck. When that card leaves play, return it to the top of its owner's deck. I guess you just do that for free. At least here, there's no cost attached to it. There might be with the actual cards. Each of the rogue supervillains has the teamwork keyword, which gives them the ability described above. Next to the keyword is the text that reads, that foe gains 1 VP. That VP comes from the pool, not from your own supply. You may only use your supervillain's teamwork once per turn unless a card says otherwise. If you teamwork the same foe multiple times, you will play a new card each time. If you play an ongoing card via teamwork, you steal it until it leaves play. Wow. There are several cards in this pack that tell you to teamwork a foe. That foe does not gain 1 VP, as the source of the effect was not your supervillain. 0 star. One thing you probably noticed about the new main deck cards is their VP values. All zip not. Is that true? Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right. These are all zeros. Ooh, yeah, no, yeah, I actually didn't notice that at all. Thank you. Instead, they give you VP tokens immediately when bought or gained from any zone. Passing does not count as gaining. There is a golden band at the top of the text so that stands out in the lineup. If you don't have any VP tokens from Forever Evil or Crisis 3, use some coins or anything handy. I don't have either of those yet, so we're going to have to do something else. Specific card clarifications, bag of tricks. Weather Wizard supervillain may be used multiple times during that turn. Captain Cold supervillain, when the Flash, cost 8, is on the stack, Captain Cold may still teamwork when he buys a card with the cost 3 or less from the lineup. Dr. Alchemy. If you don't have another card of that same cost, you will have to return the card that you just gained. Hawkman. The order in which you discard is up to you. If you have less than +5 power, you will discard your entire hand. Heatwave. You do not get to look at the card you acquired. If it's a rogue's card, you earn no VP. Iron Heights. The VP comes from your supply. You may avoid FAAs by putting 1 VP on that card. Manbat can steal it. Loot. When the owner plays it, no effect. If your teamwork finds this card, you don't own it, so you steal 2 VP. Mirror Gun. Any cards you play after this will not retrieve cards from your discard pile. Rogue's Safe House. If this card is teamwork, you don't get the +1 power for it. Only future teamworks gain the power. Those are some good clarifications. May come in handy. The first supervillain is Captain Cold. The first time you buy a card with cost 3 or less from the lineup during each of your turns, you may teamwork a foe. Teamwork, that foe gains 1 VP. I love the holographic nature to these. The Weather Wizard. Discard 2 cards, draw a card. Fair enough, that'll be really good early on. Teamwork, gain 1 VP. Okay, so the teamwork's gonna be all the same. The Golden Glider. Each time you play a card you don't own, draw a card. Teamwork. So you basically get that draw 1 off of her own effect. Heatwave. The first time you destroy a card with cost 2 or greater during each of your turns, put the top card of the main deck on top of your deck. Teamwork. That is really cool artwork. Even though he has like no background, maybe that's the point because he's Mirror Master. Mirror Master. Each time you play a hero, villain, or equipment, +1 power if you have played another card with that cost this turn. Teamwork. The Man himself, the Trickster. Each time you would shuffle your discard pile, you may leave one of those cards in your discard pile. Teamwork. That's interesting. I think a standout here for me might be Weather Wizard, just because of how good that effect is, especially early on. I really can't wait to play like all of them. All of them sound pretty good. I might pick Captain Cold, because I like cold, like ice abilities. Trickster looks kind of fun too. I think he was played by Mark Hamill in one of the live action? Yeah, I think live action. So that is DC Deck Building Game, Crossover Pack 5, The Rogues. Next up is Crossover Pack number 6, Birds of Prey. Looks like that one. This time let's go over the big deck cards first. Or the big oversized cards. When you're ready to play, each player should grab a Birds of Prey superhero, choose any DC set main deck, shuffle it, then split it in half. Shuffle the 23 new Birds of Prey main deck cards into one of the 2 piles. Then put that pile on top of the other. This will ensure that your Birds of Prey experience will have plenty of crossover. If possible, don't read the supervillains ahead of time, but make sure they are in cost order from 8 to 15. You may have noticed that one of them has a blue card back. That means that it is always the final supervillain you will face. New concept is rotated cards. In this set, you will find plenty of ways to rotate your cards for lots of positive effects and combos. A rotated card is any standard card, not an oversized card, you control that is not upright in the normal state of play. Oversized cards are never rotated. You may not rotate a card unless the card effect tells you to do so. When you rotate a card, it is by default a clockwise rotation of 90 degrees unless the card says otherwise. An upside down card is still a rotated card. Rotated cards still function as normal. So you see upright, rotated, rotated. Everything that isn't upright is considered rotated. There's 90, 180, 270, then upright. The best cards to rotate are ongoing cards, such as locations and mini cards from this set and the Teen Titans base set. When an ongoing card is rotated, it remains in that state. However, non-ongoing cards may also be rotated. When you play a card, it is now a card you control. If an effect calls for you to rotate a card, you may rotate any card you control. When a card leaves play, it loses its rotated status. All cards enter play in the upright position, but it does not count as rotating upright. Several ongoing cards in this set grant a large bonus when this card rotates upright. This typically happens when a card rotates for a 4th time. Once upright, the card doesn't go away unless the card states otherwise. If a card manages to rotate twice and move past the upright status, the card effect still happens. Clarification, Batwoman. The cost reduction does not increase for controlling multiples of the same card type. Clock Tower. The current player finishes their turn, then you take the next turn. When your bonus turn has concluded, play continues with the player to the left of the previous turn's player. Cupid. You choose which cards to rotate after each foe defends. If a card you choose rotates upright, any effect of doing that will happen for that player, not you. You may decline to rotate a foe's card if you wish. Lady Shiva. You may destroy up to 2 cards in each of those zones, so you might destroy as many as 6 cards. Livewire. Only rotations that happen after playing this card add to the power. Martial Arts Expert. If this card leaves play, place all cards under it into the destroyed pile. Poison Ivy. For example, if you have 4 weaknesses, you may give 1 to player A, 1, none to B, and 3 to player C. So you can really divvy it out however you like. Talia al Ghul. Upright effects on the rotated card do not happen, nor does Cheetah's ongoing or Black Canary's ability. Talia's attack does not cause players to gain weakness cards. Okay, that's interesting. Without any context, that is. We have the Huntress superhero. Each time 1 or more players avoid an attack you play, you may rotate a card you control 90 degrees clockwise. Each time you avoid an attack, you may rotate a card you control clockwise 90 degrees. So that's pretty cool. Inherent to her is a lot of rotating mechanics, so she plays really well into the gimmick. We have Katana. Once during each of your turns, if you control 2 or more equipment, you may destroy a starter in your hand or rotate a card you control 90 degrees. So that's actually really good. You get to get rid of cards that, well, starters, which become useless over time. So this is probably the best one to play, like, not even when you're playing the Birds of Prey set, but just generally speaking, a good one to play. Oracle. During each of your turns, if you control 2 or more heroes, draw a card and rotate a card you control 90 degrees. Pretty good. Batwoman. You pay 1 less to buy cards in the lineup with the same card type as rotated cards you control. Black Canary. Once during each of your turns, if you control 2 or more different superpowers, rotate a card you control 90 degrees clockwise. Each time a card you control rotates upright, you may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. Last but not least, we have Catwoman. Once during each of your turns, if you control 4 or more rotated cards, gain the top card of the main deck. Each time you play a villain, you may rotate a card upright. Each time you play a villain, you may rotate an upright card you control 90 degrees clockwise. Cool start. Let's see what we have here for the main deck. You can already see we have that main super villain, cost of 15. Villain Roulette, Gandalf Savage, Cheshire, Cupid, Black Alice, Knockout. You have the hero Misfit, trademarked. Lady Blackhawk, Maggie Sawyer, trademarked. Hawkfire, Manhunter, Vixen. It's cool to see Vixen. Strix. Have the equipment Soul Taker Sword. That's a cool one. Crossbow. Not as cool going from one than the other. You have the whip. Computer console. Airy 1. Superpowers. We have Edemic Memory. Canary Cry. Master Thief. Martial Arts Expert. Oh, that's ongoing, so that's good. Are any of these other ones ongoing? Ooh, the Edemic Memory is. Okay, so there's actually a couple here that are ongoing, which is good. Location, of course, that's an ongoing. Oh, okay. That's interesting. For the supervillains, the first one we have is Harley Quinn. Second, we have the Calculator. Cheetah. Livewire. Poison Ivy. Lady Shiva. Nocturna. And last but not least, Talia al Ghul. I really like this set because it gives us so many that I will definitely be using in future videos for custom games. I mean, Harley goes for like almost any Batman one. Cheetah for Wonder Woman. Poison Ivy, I guess, again for Batman, and also Talia. So this is going to be really fun. I'm glad to have this. I was up for the longest time on the precipice of just buying this set so I could start doing some of those DCEU videos, but I'm like, you know what? This crossover collection number 1 is going to be better, mostly because the main cards are foil. I just decided to wait, and I'm glad I did, because having these now is amazing. So let's go over crossover pack 7, New Gods. First off, we have the rules explanation. When you're ready to play, you should grab a new god superhero or supervillain. If there is an even number of players, split the factions 50-50. If odd, just make sure everyone isn't playing the same faction. Choose any DC set main deck, shuffle it, then split it in half. Shuffle the 26 new gods main deck cards into one of the 2 piles. Then put that pile on top of the other. New concept is homeworld. In this crossover, you will attempt to conquer the opposing faction's homeworld instead of defeating a stack of supervillains. If you are playing a superhero, you may conquer Apocalypse. If you are a supervillain, you may conquer New Genesis. Note that a player sharing a faction with you is not your teammate. During setup, you may stack Apocalypse cards and a stack of New Genesis cards. Place them in order from level 1 first to level 3 last. Read each homeworld card carefully before play. The stack ongoing abilities of each may apply to all players. For example, even if you are playing a superhero, any villain you play will earn you a +1 power bonus from level 1 Apocalypse. New concept, conquering a homeworld. If you have amassed enough power to conquer an opposing homeworld, you may buy it just as you would a supervillain. Cards that reduce a supervillain's cost work here. However, a homeworld never goes into your deck. Instead, place it nearby and add it to your deck at the end of the game. Homeworlds are worth a lot of VP. When either level 3 homeworld is conquered, that game ends. Count VP to determine the winner. So just them going away doesn't settle the winner. It's whoever has the most points at the end of the game, which is still probably going to be whoever has the most. New keyword, Protector. When an attempt is made to conquer homeworld, you may reveal any number of protectors of that homeworld from your hand. Each revealed card reduces the power of the conqueror, power of the conquer attempt by the number listed after its protector keyword. If a supervillain tries to conquer level 1 New Genesis with power 10 and you reveal Tachyon the New Genesis protector 2, that reduces the power to 8. Which is not enough to conquer the 9 cost card. Additional protectors may still be utilized even after the attempt has been thwarted. Utilizing protectors is done in clockwise order from each player. Once a player has done all the protecting they wish to do, the next player has a chance. After all protections, the active player may now spend their remaining power on other things. You may not make another attempt to conquer a homeworld this turn. New keyword, Retaliation. Think of this as a last appearance attack. When a player conquers a homeworld, a retaliation is made immediately, not at the end of the turn, against each player in the conqueror's faction. So if level 1 Apocalypse is conquered, each superhero faces the retaliation shown on level 1 Apocalypse. A retaliation is an attack and may be defended. The next level homeworld on the stack is revealed at the end of the turn. Specific card clarifications. Calabac 7. You may discard cards to this effect at any time during your turn. Mantis. This effect is not a discard. If the card has ongoing, you steal it until it leaves play. Mr. Miracle 5. Holding this in your hand and discarding it at the end of your turn doesn't work, as it is no longer a player's turn at that point. Orion Steppenwolf. Effects that would increase his power do not resolve before the 9+ power check is made. Tachyon. This is not a gain or pass or an attack. Mr. Miracle may only place the top card of his deck if he receives his original card back. Level 3 homeworlds. You may reveal then discard a protector. First up, we have Orion. During each of your turns, if you have 9+ power, draw 2 cards. Whew, okay, wow. Mr. Miracle. Did we not already have Mr. Miracle in a previous set? I'm not sure. Maybe. Each time you discard a card from your hand or deck, you may put it on top of your deck, although it still counts as having been discarded. Pretty cool. Is that Cyborg back there? Big Barda. The third time you play a card with cost 5 or greater during your turn, double your current power. Wow, okay. That's strong. Whoa, Darkside. Supervillain. Once during each of your turns, you may destroy a card with cost 1 or greater from your hand or discard pile. If you do, +2 and draw a card. Okay. Granny Goodness. The second time you play a villain during your turn, draw 2 cards and then discard a card. Second time you play a villain during your turn, +3 power. That just seems powerful. That just seems really good. Calabac. At the end of each of your turns, if you do not play a starter card, draw 2 additional cards in your new hand. That seems really good too. Wow. The villains seem almost stronger than the good guys on this one. I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely enough for the 2 factions, in addition to the other sets that are out where you can play villains versus superheroes. So that's going to be really fun. Check out the main deck cards. Also, according to this, there is 1 randomizer and then 1 divider for the multiverse box. I guess this is the divider? No, wait, this is the randomizer because it says that right there. This must be the divider for the multiverse box. Then we have the randomizer. I'm not really sure how this works unless you just shuffle these and then you pick one like, oh, okay, I'm going to be playing this. We have New Genesis level 1, New Genesis level 2, and New Genesis level 3. So all pretty cool. We have Apocalypse. So that's a supervillain world. Superhero, supervillain. Apocalypse level 1, 2, and 3. So that's like the main cards. Himon, the Hero, New Genesis Protector. Forever People. Mr. Miracle Hero. Tachyon Hero. Big Barda Hero. Metron Hero. Orion Hero. High Father Hero. For the bad guys, we have Disad. Kanto. Female Furies. Steppenwolf. That's a cool one to see. Granny Goodness. Mantis. Calabac. And Darkside, who by himself, just being a villain, is... Like, some of these are strong enough to just be even a super villain. Oh, I guess that includes High Father. I guess it's kind of weird because you have them in terms of... They have to be equal, so you're not going to see super diverse cards because it's going to have to be super good protector on the villain side, super good protector on the hero side. The numbers may be slightly different, but that's kind of how it is. Mobius Chair, Astro Harness, Beta Club, Arrow Discs, the Mother Box, wow, that's cool to see, Boom Tube, the Anti-Life Equation, which is crazy, Omega Beams, Escape Artist, okay, that's neat, Die for Darkside. Wow, this is some cool stuff, and I gotta say, a lot of these cards in this set, I think will play really well when trying to create a DCEU Justice League game. Look forward to that video coming soon. Now I just have to sleeve up all these cards. Oh, that's always the part that takes the longest. Info sheet. Crossover Trilogy. Oh, it's a new way you can do stuff. Players will complete in 3 games to determine the ultimate superhero. Now I guess you just play it out, and that's kind of cool. It's cool that they went ahead and did this, made this a thing. Set recommendations, one you should play with each one, I suppose. So if you're playing the rogues, play them with Forever Evil, because they're more bad guys that you can use. I think also because Harley is in this one as a persona, so you can use them with the other rogues, so I could see that. Birds of Prey with the Titans, I could see that as well. Then New Gods with Dark Knight's Metal. They're both the newest one, at the very least. I'm not sure how else they play together, but it's going to be super fun. Well, guys, that's it for the DC Deck Building Game Crossover Collection 1. If you want to stay up to date with my videos and live streams on both YouTube and Twitch, check out links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining. That's all for now, guys. Manjoume out.